In episode 1, I kicked off a 30-day challenge to grow my candle business to $1,000 in 1 month, while donating 5% of every sale to the Jed Foundation to support mental health. Day 1 started strong with 311 in sales, but not everything went how I had hoped. My HOA Facebook post, 0 support, and I was left wondering, how in the world am I gonna hit this goal? Hey everybody, it's Dominique from Nightlight Candles, and now that we're at the halfway point of the challenge and things are starting to get a little serious. In this episode, I'm taking you behind the scenes of my May 17th vendor fair, one that was my top selling event last year. But this year, let's just say, expectations didn't exactly match reality. And with one more event coming up on May 24th, the question is, can I turn this challenge around before time runs out? There's been some surprises, and one game-changing moment you're not gonna see coming. I know I didn't. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because even though this challenge may be wrapping up, the journey is far from over. And trust me, you'll want to see everything that's coming. After day 1 of the challenge, we ended with $311 in sales, which might sound like a great start, but like I mentioned in episode 1, those numbers were a little misleading. A big chunk of that came from our Candle of the Month subscription boxes, which I had already promoted before the challenge began. So while it technically counted, it didn't give me a real sense of whether we were gaining traction during this 30-day window. And here's the truth, I've never made $1,000 in a single month from this business, at least not outside of the Q4 holiday season. So trying to do that in May with no craft fairs yet and minimal traffic to my website felt honestly a little bit overwhelming. But that's when I knew I had to start getting resourceful. I started with my email subscriber list. And let me be clear, I have a strict rule. I never spam my list. If you've signed up, you'll only hear from me when there's something valuable or important. And this challenge, this mission to raise money and awareness for mental health, well, I felt that was important enough to hit send. And to my surprise, a few orders started coming through. By May 7th, we had pushed our total to $396.30. Still a long way from the $1,000, but enough momentum to keep going. I continued trying to spread the word. I posted again in my neighborhood HOA Facebook group, and again, no traction at all. And again, this part really stung because I thought if anyone would rally behind this mission, it would be the people in my own community. Still, I kept pushing. I sent another email campaign, and thankfully a few more orders trickled in. By the night of May 16th, the day before the first fair, we had made it to $532.16. We were officially just over halfway to that $1,000 goal. And I'll be honest with you, I was confident. This May 17th vendor fair was my best performing event of the entire year last year. I thought this would be the day that we'd crush our goal, but that's not what happened. Let me show you how it actually went down. This was the fair that I had been waiting for. The same one that brought me in over $700 in sales alone last year. I was optimistic, I had high hopes, but the day didn't exactly start that way. The wind was relentless, and with no tent weights, setting up was a battle. I ended up having to take the tent walls down entirely. It was the only way to keep the booth from lifting off the ground. Right then and there, I went on Amazon and ordered tent weights for future shows. Lesson learned. This was a 7-hour event, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. 11 came, then 12, then 12:45. Not a single sale. Almost 2 hours in, I finally made my first sale. A returning customer, actually. She bought 2 candles. That moment gave me a small boost. Then the parade started, and it brought more foot traffic through the event. We finally started seeing people stop at the booth, ask questions, and browse. But compared to last year, sales were slow. This was supposed to be my turning point, but by the end of the day, we had only brought in $318.03, a far cry from the $700 we made the same event last year. Still, that brought our total up to $850.19. Now we're just $150 away from our $1,000 goal. But here's the catch. Online sales have completely stalled, and the next vendor fair coming up, I've never done it before. I have no idea what to expect. So the question is, can we still make it happen? Hey guys, it is Monday, May 19th, and I woke up to a massive order. And if you're somebody on YouTube who has made this order, thank you so much. This set the tone for my day, honestly. So it was over $200 worth of items, and this was the order that put us over our goal. So I am happy to report that we are now over our goal. And I want to show you guys here on the screen, I'm just amazed right now. I mean, it's 5:40 in the morning, and this was one of 3 sessions on our website over the last 5 hours, obviously, and this did it. And we still have our craft fair on Saturday. So everything else now is a bonus, so I'm super excited. So you can see here, again, today's the 19th, and it was $214.99 in sales out of one of our 3 sessions. And for the month, that puts us at $1,065.18, and we finally hit our goal. This is absolutely amazing, and we still have another, 10, 11 days in the month. So hopefully we can even grab a couple more, so we can get even more, money to the Jed Foundation. So thank you guys. This is awesome, and I'm gonna still update you on what our final numbers are. Well, we did it. That huge $214 order and one more that came in later that same day officially pushed us past our $1,000 goal. We're now sitting at $1,098.53, and I can't even begin to tell you how much that means to me. And here's the part that really got me. That big order, it came from somebody right here, a viewer from YouTube. Now, I'm not gonna put her on the spot, but I just wanna say you know who you are and you are truly appreciated. To see this little business being supported, not just locally, but by this community, the one we're building together, is just incredible. So, since we've hit our $1,000 milestone, let's raise the stakes. We're setting a new goal, $1,500 by the end of the month. And the big question is, can we make it? We've got one more vendor fair coming up on May 24th, this weekend. And I've never done this event before. I don't know what to expect, but I do know this. We've got momentum and we've got heart. Let's see what happens next. So after the last vendor fair, I knew we had to restock. I was running low on some of our top selling candles and car diffusers, and with the momentum we were building, I couldn't afford to show up unprepared. This part of the journey is often overlooked. The long nights, the prep, the repeat batches, but this is what keeps the business alive. And I was especially motivated this time because the next vendor fair was something completely new. Making some car diffusers, I didn't realize how low I actually was on these scents. I ran out at the last fair, and I don't want that to happen again. So I already have a little bit of pre-mixture. These are ones I just had on the side waiting. So I just gotta literally just fill up these bottles and label them. All right, today is the day. It's May 24th. It's early in the morning. And I gotta go pack up all this stuff. And it is an absolute mess down here. You see, the workstation is a mess. We got trash. This is all the stuff I gotta pack up. So we continued to pack up and drove over an hour away into Pennsylvania for this event. It was an hour and a half away from home, and I had never done this fair in this market before. But the word on the street was this would be a good one, and then the wind came. So it is very windy out here. I hate outside events, I really do, just because of the wind. The last one I was at too was super windy, and I forgot my tent weights. So I have my wife going back to the store because we're so far away from home to try to pick up some tent weights. So I can't even continue setting up, and so we're on a time crunch right now, and this is literally all I have so far. Everybody else has their full tent set up, and the grind. well, we'll make it work. Every other vendor was set up, and I couldn't get my tent up. It was way too windy. And yep, remember those tent weights I told you I ordered last show? Left them at home. Time was ticking, we were getting closer to the start of the fair, and our booth was barely started. Thankfully, my wife spotted a Walmart about 20 minutes away and immediately went to grab new weights. Now we're 15 minutes from opening. Booth still not ready, no products out, no signage up, and I'm just standing here there wondering, is this whole thing about to fall apart? But luckily, the event started a little slow. People trickled in gradually, which gave us enough time to breathe, regroup, and get everything ready to go. And once we were set, the fair was incredible. Live bands, great food, drinks were flowing at the brewery, and people were buying. There was just this energy, a really chill, supportive vibe, and people were genuinely excited to be there, and they were loving our products. By the end of the day, we had made $531.04, bringing our total for this challenge up to an unbelievable $1,644.95, blowing past our secondary goal. This was our final vendor fair for the month, and to be honest, a few days that followed were quiet. No big surprises, no last-minute pushes. And that brings us to the end of the challenge. After our second fair on May 24th, the momentum didn't completely stop, but it definitely slowed down. My wife brought some car diffusers to work, and a few of her coworkers supported the mission. We had a couple more small online orders trickle in as well. It wasn't anything huge, but every bit added up. Our final total for the 30-day challenge came to a whopping $1,725.83. That's 72% more than our original $1,000 goal, and even 15% above our secondary goal of $1,500. As a brand new business, I've never hit numbers like this outside of the holiday season. To say I'm grateful would be an understatement. But here's the part that means the most to me. This wasn't about just hitting a sales goal. This was about showing that we could build something meaningful together. Because of your support, we were able to donate 5% of our gross sales, not net like I had originally said, to the Jed Foundation to support mental health in young people. That was a conscious choice because I wanted to give more. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to everyone who shared in the mission, placed an order, showed up at a fair, or just watched this series. This challenge pushed me. It reminded me of the power of community, and it proved that even a small business can make a big impact. If this inspired you in any way, whether as a creator, entrepreneur, or just someone who wants to do good, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. We're just getting started.